Hi there. You're very close to my face, but I can't figure out how else to do this camera thing. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit. I did not plan this video out, but I just kind of thought I'd go off on my own experience here. But I wanted to talk about letting go today. I really wanted to talk about surrendering, just like radically surrendering to the universe and how important it is for your progress here on earth. So, about a month ago, well actually you guys know I haven't been making videos for a while, and it's because I kind of got in this weird funk. I ended up trying to control like my business and just things that were going on in my life. And throughout that experience, I learned how essential it is for us to surrender to the universe, especially when things feel like maybe we're downward spiraling or things aren't going our way. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm sure you can think of one scenario in your life that you are trying to control. Maybe a person or a place or a situation or an event. When we are trying to control situations in our life, what we're actually doing is we're giving our power away to those people, to those circumstances, to those events. We're giving our power away because we're kind of making it this sort of like, okay, if this thing goes exactly how I want it to go, then I'll be happy. Or if I can just mold this thing in my life to be perfectly as I want it to be, then I will be happy. But it ends up being a very sort of conditional way of living. And when we give our power away through controlling things, we actually end up in such big resistance. We end up being resistant to our connection. We end up being resistant to our connection with the universe. And we end up being resistant to the innate godly power that we have within us. And what I mean by this is, if you are existing, check, you have qualified for being innately godly. Like, it's crazy how powerful we are, and the magnitude of power that we have inside of us is far beyond what you can imagine. So for you to think that, ooh, I'm gonna go and try to control this thing in my life and try to have power over it is actually so opposite of what ends up happening, because we end up giving our power away to the situation, to the person, to the event, to the business, to the relationship. I could go on and on. So what I really like that Gabrielle Bernstein actually says, she wrote the book The Universe Has Your Back. She said that your plans are getting in the way of God's plans. Your plans are getting in the way of what the universe has in store for you. And it might actually be so much bigger than you think. So she kind of presents this sort of 5 steps to spiritual surrender. And I've been following those for the past couple of days and feeling really, really, really good. So I thought I would share a couple of them with you. So one of the steps to spiritual surrender that she talks about is how we think that we know exactly what we need and what we want in life. But one sort of affirmation, mantra, prayer, whatever you want to call it, to introduce into our lives to kind of help us progress and help us sort of co-create with the universe is to say, I wish for the greatest good for all. And what this does is, this really lights us up. You know, sometimes we focus on ourselves and we're kind of like, well, is it all about me, really? But when you kind of desire the greatest good for all, then even if an obstacle comes in our way, we know that in the divine plan, in the grand scheme of things, it's all happening for our best. It's all happening best case scenario for everyone. And I love that she talks about that, because I mean, it's so true. We get so focused on ourselves and like, this is what I desire and whatever, but I think really going at it from a place of, you know, bring me what is best and what is of the greatest good for all. So I really love that. Another thing, and this is really, really important, is Gabrielle Bernstein says, obstacles are a detour in the right direction. What if we started looking at obstacles as opportunities for us to thrive? What if we started looking at, for example, when I look back at me being really controlling towards whatever it was in my life at the time, I remember the feelings of ultimate resistance. Like I was just, I was going downwards like that, like so fast. And the opportunity in that was for me to get more connected. The opportunity in that was for me to see the power within myself so that I can just stop trying to control everything, right? Does that kind of make sense? The opportunity was for me to start loving myself more and to find and to reawaken to my potential and remember my connection. So it's really important for us to remember that no matter what happens, it is just another chance for us to reawaken to the beauty in life. Which brings me to the last point, which is, by the way, there's construction going on. Hopefully it's not too loud. But this brings me to the last point. Look for what is thriving. Focus on what is thriving. We get so caught up in what I don't have, the lack of this and the absence of that in my life. But look for what is thriving. There are so many beautiful things that are thriving in our life, like my relationship with my best friend and just all the people that support me. And I just think about how grateful I am for the job that I have. And there's so many things that are thriving. You watching this video, being able to access the internet and access all this cool spiritual knowledge and excitement and empowerment from other people, like you are thriving. There's always something in our life that is absolutely thriving. So focus on what's thriving. And that way we won't be focused on the lack and the absence of things. And then when you go into your meditations, you can ask the universe, you know. One of my favorite prayers from A Course in Miracles is, I always have to take a couple of deep breaths before I say it, but where would you want me to go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? The guidance is always available to us. The universe is always in communication with us. The universe is always sending us signs. So wake up to the beauty that's around you and let go of the control. Let go, let go, let go, surrender. So yeah, that's that. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.